Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa coming to you from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Shalom World is pleased to announce that its new channel, Shalom World Asia-Africa, is beginning its maiden broadcast on Friday, March 25th, the feast of the Annunciation of the Blessed Virgin. The fifth channel of Shalom Media Group, the new channel will bring the good news to multitudes in the vast continents of Asia and Africa who are yet to hear about the Savior. The maiden broadcast will begin at 9 a.m. Eastern with a video detailing the inception of Shalom World in the U.S. and how it spread in other parts of the world. Bishops and cardinals from both continents will deliver their benedictory address, and it will be followed by the unveiling of the video theme song on the new channel. Shalom World Asia-Africa will have a host of programs, including testimonies, musical shows, and movies aimed at spreading the good news. As the country eagerly awaits the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling on Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, the President of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, Archbishop Jose Gomez, and Chairman of the Committee Serving Women and Families have reiterated the sanctity of every human life from the time of conception. In a statement issued on Monday, March 21st, the prelate said, quote, as our nation awaits the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization, we join together in prayer and expectant hope that states will again be able to protect women and children from the injustice of abortion, end quote. The prelate also welcomed the likelihood of saving countless unborn apart from sparing women and families from the agony of abortion once the Supreme Court gives a pro-life verdict. The Dobbs versus Jackson case, which is under consideration, questions the constitutionality of the 2018 Mississippi Gestational Age Act that prohibits abortion after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Even as Lebanon continues to suffer from economic and political crisis, its Christian president was received by Pope Francis at the Vatican on Monday, March 21st. President Michel, Aoun, a Maronite Catholic, met with the Holy Father, Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin, and Foreign Minister Archbishop Paul Gallagher. This year is the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between the Holy See and the Middle Eastern nation. During the discussion, the importance of diplomatic relations was stressed. Aoun also discussed the socio-economic issues and the upcoming legislative elections. Lebanon has the distinction of being the only Arab nation with a Christian as the head of state. Major Archbishop Sviatoslav Shevchuk, head of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church, has blamed Russian soldiers for committing genocide in the port city of Mariupol that is being pounded by air and artillery attack. In his video message on March 21st, the top prelate said civilians are killed out of sheer hatred in the city named after the Blessed Mother. He said, quote, people are dying not only from enemy weapons, but also from hatred. Hundreds of people are dying of hunger, not only in the city, but also in its environs, end quote. According to Olga Stefanishina, Deputy Prime Minister, the mass murder of Ukrainians is genocide. The port city, with a population of more than 400,000, is now in ruins because of the incessant mortar attacks and bombings. Cardinal Mario Grech, the Secretary General of the Synod of Bishops, urged heads of states to protect vulnerable Ukrainian women and children as they cross the border in European Union countries. He made the appeal while he was in Poland for a 4-day visit. Cardinal Grech told the media that women and children must be protected from human traffickers who exploit the situation. On Saturday, March 19, the Maltese Cardinal paid a visit to 2 refugee facilities operated by the Polish Diocese of Warsaw, accompanied by Cardinal Kazimierz Schnitsch and Monsignor Piotr Jarecki. Meanwhile, the specter of human trafficking has also been raised by UNICEF, citing that more than 1.5 million children have left Ukraine since February 24th. According to the Interagency Coordination Group Against Trafficking, 28% of victims of trafficking around the world are children. In response to the growing humanitarian crisis in Ukraine and neighboring countries, the CEO of an American firm has pledged to continue distributing thousands of pounds of food to refugees. Bob Unanue, the CEO of Goya Foods, the largest Hispanic-owned food company in the United States, is the person who is sending food to the refugees. Apart from sending 150,000 pounds of food, he has joined hands with Shannon Haas of Texas, who has sent more than 15,000 rosaries to Ukrainians as a gift from American Catholics. It was Shannon's prayer community that made and donated thousands of prayer beads for Ukrainian refugees. When the consignment of the rosaries reached Poland, they were blessed by Archbishop Václav Depo of Czestochowa, who is the chaplain of the Knights of Columbus, and dedicated them to the Black Madonna. They will be distributed to refugees later. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., the Senate Judiciary Committee began its four-day confirmation hearings on Monday, March 21st, regarding President Joe Biden's nominee, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, as the first Black woman justice in the Supreme Court. In the case of the Democrats staying united, they have the votes to barely confirm Jackson, who has been educated at Harvard University, had earlier served as federal public defender for indigent clients. In the Senate that comprises 100 members, there are 50 Democrats and an equal number of Republicans. The tie-breaking vote rests with Vice President Kamala Harris. Usually, the Senate Judicial Committee hearings regarding nominees witness verbal duels between senators belonging to both parties. The president of war-torn Syria, Bashar al-Assad, held a meeting with representatives of Catholic humanitarian associations and institutions and the members of various ecclesial groups on Saturday, March 19. During the meeting, he hailed the work done by Catholic institutions that benefit the Syrian people. He also had words of praise for all humanitarian work undertaken by the Catholic Church. Recently, the representative of Caritas Syria said that poverty has been exacerbated by years of civil war, as well as by the crippling international sanctions, forcing many people to migrate. The delegates who held a meeting with the president had previously taken part in the international conference in Damascus from March 15th through the 17th. It was hosted by the council heads of the Catholic churches in Syria, the Congregation for Oriental Churches, and the Apostolic Nunciature. The Vatican has announced the schedule of the Holy Father for the months of April and May. On April 2nd and 3rd, Pope Francis will undertake an apostolic journey to Malta. As for the Holy Week, on April 10th, Palm Sunday, the Pope will celebrate Holy Mass at St. Peter's Square. The Chrism Mass on Holy Thursday and the Veneration of the Cross on Good Friday will be celebrated at St. Peter's Basilica. The Holy Father will then head to the Colosseum to lead the Way of the Cross. He will celebrate the Easter Vigil Mass on April 16 at St. Peter's Basilica. His Holiness will also preside over the Easter Sunday Mass, followed by the traditional Urbi et Orbi blessing. The Holy See Press has likewise issued the schedule of the canonization Mass of Blessed Charles de Foucauld, Titus Brandsma, and 8 others at St. Peter's Square on May 15. Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit of Sri Lanka said in a recent interview that the church in the island nation is still awaiting answers from the authorities about the real perpetrators of the Easter Sunday bombings. During a press conference hosted by Aid to the Church in Need, Cardinal Ranjit of Colombo Archdiocese alleged that there are indications that the authorities wanted the attacks to be carried out. The top prelate raised the allegation during the virtual presser that was held at ACN's headquarters in Königstein in Germany. He said that the attacks were well coordinated as there were bombs in 7 places in 15 minutes, although one of the suicide bombers did not detonate his explosives. Cardinal Ranjit sought clarity about the possible collusion between the authorities, including government figures, intelligence agencies, and terrorists. The suicide terrorist attacks on the 3 churches and 3 hotels on April 19, 2019 left 269 people dead and hundreds injured. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.